I decided to enter an animation contest. But there's just one slight issue. I've never animated before. Sure, my videos have some animated bits, but I didn't make those. My son did. Isn't he cool? Of course, I can't rely on free child labour forever, so I decided to throw myself into the deep end by taking part in the 11 Second Club's monthly animation contest. Wait, what do you mean there's only 7 days left? The 11 Second Club gives you a short audio clip each month, and you animate something to match. Here's what I had to work with.
What a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, oh well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
Since I was short on time and experience, I decided to keep it simple. I wanted to animate a woman talking on the phone. Should be easy enough, right? I started by designing the character so I could use it as a reference. Was this necessary for an 11-second clip? Probably not, but it felt right at the time. Besides, I just like character design, okay? I decided to give our character an 80s look and spent some time looking at outfit ideas. They had some really questionable fashion choices back then. I mean, those shoes with socks? Really? This, however, absolute slang. To save time and make things easier on myself, I simplified my art style. And with that, it was time to animate. And speaking of animating, I use Clip Studio Paint for all my art stuff, so it made sense to use it for animating too. The logic was that I wouldn't have to learn a whole new program, but as soon as I tried making an animation file, what is this? What does this mean? Do I just leave all this default? I had to go look up some tutorials on YouTube just so I could understand how to even set it up in the first place. And then when I'd done that, things only felt more overwhelming. I mean, what the heck's an animation folder? I was beginning to wonder if maybe I'd given myself too big of a challenge. Eventually I was able to work out how to use the animation features and began drawing some frames. I didn't have time to start with the basics like bouncing balls or walk cycles. Nope, I threw all that in the bin and went straight to my contest entry. Was that a good idea? Probably not, but I'd already wasted an entire day having a mental breakdown, so I wasn't exactly keen on wasting even more time. I decided to start with the important frames. I think they're called keyframes? The ones that capture a pose or motion. Then I would figure out how to make the move later. Doing this would give me a base to work with, as well as get a feel for what I wanted. I had a lot of fun doing this part and even put on some 80s music. I'm a chameleon. It was a vibe, honestly. That was until I had to start making her move. I suddenly found myself feeling very overwhelmed. Again. This time from all the layers I'd drawn just for the keyframes. How was I supposed to animate them? I mean, where do I start? The lips? Well, that'll mess up when the head moves, right? What about the arms? How do I get from this frame to this one? I felt like I was drowning in frames already, and now I had to add even more. I decided to look for help on YouTube and came across this video by Kuzalon. It turns out I didn't actually need to draw that many frames to create movement. I also went ahead and hid the eyes and mouth frames for now and just animated the body. Focusing on one thing at a time made everything a lot less overwhelming. I was able to save drawing time by copy-pasting some frames and adjusting them, as well as reusing some. I have to admit though, I got super excited when I saw her move for the first time. Like, did I do that? What? Look at her go! Sometimes the movement would look really janky, so I'd add in an extra frame to smooth it out. It wouldn't always work though and make things worse, so I'd add another frame to exaggerate the movement and it kind of fixed it. I also tried adding some bounce to her hair when she tilted her head, but I couldn't figure it out, so I just gave up. It was really interesting that some techniques worked for some movement but not others. It was just a lot of trial and error really. Oh, and I added in a smear frame for this bit here where she moves her arm up, which was pretty fun. I like smear frames, they're silly. It took me 2 days for 11 seconds of animation, but I was far from finished. On day 4, I couldn't work on my animation as much as I wanted to as I had a bunch of errands to run. I was able to do the eyes though, as they were pretty simple and only took a couple hours. The mouth, however, was not fun at all. Not only did I have to move the mouth with her head, but I also had to lip sync, and I decided to give her lipstick on top of that? Why? Why did I do this? I could have just done simple mouth movements like they do in anime, but apparently I enjoy suffering. With 2 days left to go, I'd finally finished the rough animation and could now move on to clean up and polishing this thing. Could I really make it in time? Cleaning up the line art was easy. After all, line art's my specialty. I drew the background, the phone and her legs on the same frame as they wouldn't be moving, and then I made a separate animation folder for everything else. I decided not to have the eyes and mouth on their own frames like I did with the roughs, and just drew everything together. Overall, it was less frames, but I still had to draw her head over and over and over. The most tedious part of this, however, was when it came to filling in the colours. Well, I say colour, but I didn't have time, so I just did flat grey and white. I had to fill in every moving frame with white. It was so mind-numbingly boring that I think I actually hated doing this more than the lip syncing. The final thing left to do was add in the phone cord and make it move along with her head movements. This was pretty easy, as I just drew one frame, then copy-pasted it and adjusted it to make sure the end was connected to the phone properly. And with just 2 hours left to spare, my animation was finally complete and ready to submit.
What a dumb thing to say, right? I mean, you say it, oh well. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la, yeah.
I exported it and went over to the website as fast as I could, put in my details and... Oh. Well, that's okay, I'll just try it. Third time's the charm? Oh no. For the entire 2-hour window, I kept trying, over and over, but I was never able to submit my entry. Maybe I left it too late. Maybe too many people were trying to submit at the same time. Who knows? All I knew was that after an entire week of struggling, I couldn't even enter. I was frustrated, but then I realised, was all this work really for nothing? Sure, I missed the contest, but I think I gained something much more valuable. I just spent the last week learning something new, and I enjoyed it. Despite the struggles, despite being overwhelmed most of the time, I did something I've never done before. And not only that, but I want to keep doing it. Sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination. And my animation journey is just beginning. If you enjoyed this video, then you might like this one too. You can also subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with my animation adventures. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and keep on shining.